Hello, good evening, good morning. Charlie Chaplin, may you rest in peace. We are live.
Amen.
Very special show in the middle of September, and a lot of things happening in my life and Rose's life. And we took an hour today to meet with Alex Sternick, who Rose will introduce in more detail. I'm Dr. Tova Goldfein, and we are live at TMS Roundtable Global every Monday, sometime in the day, with my dearest professional partner and really best friend in life, Rose Hoy. Mwah! I love you in Melbourne, Australia, where the kangaroos, what a godly thing. The kangaroos have pockets for their children. I mean, is there a God? What a godly thing. Enough about me. Hi, Rose.
Good morning, everyone, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. You know, we spend a lot of time trying to work out what will help you, our listeners, to be aware that their chronic pain can be handled and that life's situations can also be handled. Now, we found Alex Sternick, or should I say Tova did. I can't own any of it.
I think he found me somewhere in the...
Right. So now Alex is a clinical nutritionist, but he's also a humour and life coach. Now, if you think about it, in the hospitals nowadays, we have actually doctors who dress up as clowns. We have people coming in to actually bring that serotonin to say those children who are having chemotherapy, for example, so that humour, that laughter can actually happen with them in their suffering. We've also see that once we tap into our humour and look at our pain and look at it in a humorous way rather than a frightening way, we can see that it's a dud, to say the least. So, Alex, thank you so much. I also want to mention that Alex is involved with logotherapy, which has actually come from Viktor Frankl. Now, any of you listeners that have not heard of Viktor Frankl, remember that he wrote Man's Search for Meaning. He was in the concentration camp. He was watching people die around him, but he knew that if he could stay focused, he would survive. Now, I've just written this down, so I have to read it for you, but it's the will to meaning. Life can have meaning in the most miserable of circumstances, and motivation for living comes from finding that meaning. So finding the meaning becomes the reason for living. So as we talk to Alex now, keep that in the back of your mind, because many of you with somatic pain, chronic pain, have lost that life energy. What would you call it? Vibe. So welcome, Alex, and tell us about yourself, because this gentleman's been to India, America, Switzerland, Germany, everywhere. I've been everywhere, man.
So I come from a very traumatic family and background. Physical illnesses as well as psychiatric illnesses all around. And I was an only child raised in Jerusalem. My father was sitting in a prison in Siberia before coming to Israel. So actually this childhood was very, very traumatic and gloomy, doomy, with a lot of trauma, with a lot of abusing, illnesses, and too much seriousness as well, which my parents brought from Russia. So I really didn't laugh and I didn't express this joie de vivre in my life as a child. So I always looked for something different. That's why when I was 18 in the army, I already started to practice Tai Chi. And I went into Vipassana when I took a vacation from army. It was very strange because I looked for something more joyous and healthy. From my parents, I could understand that their way of taking medicines and going to doctors is not something that is not working out because they don't become healthier. So I looked for something new. That's why I went to study nutrition in the Hebrew University. I was very interested about vitamins, about how to boost up our vital forces. But these nutrition studies were quite boring, I have to say. And what happened is that in 2003, I heard about the Father Teresa, the Jewish medical doctor from New York who adopted many, many kids in Addis Abeba. He's a Jewish religious Orthodox medical doctor. And I met him in Jerusalem, and he inspired me to come to Addis Abeba to look for a job
To
inside
where?
Addis Abeba, Ethiopia.
Ah, wow.
Yeah, he inspired me to come and look for a job as nutritionist so I can at least work and travel, because I always liked traveling. I was already in India before going to study. But on the way to Ethiopia, I really stopped in India, in Bangalore.
That's a
And
bit out of the, that's a
yeah,
little bit out.
I went to Bangalore, then to Ethiopia, and I was sure I'm not going to back to be in Israel to go back to Israel, because I will be working in all these non-governmental organization like Save the Children, etc. And being at least I don't like to be nutritionist, but I will be on field in the bush. But I think the Providence had a different plan for me. And in June 2003, I was going to buy some books in English because I saw an advertisement. There is a big discount on many English books in some shop in Bangalore. And I was roaming around, and then my eye just, catched a book. And on this book, or the picture on the cover page was something like that. I see many Indian faces doing like that. I said,
Yes.
wow, this is weird. What is that? So I took that book, and the name of the book was, I think, something about laughter therapy, but I don't remember. It was very a long time ago. And it was the book by Madan Kataria, the guy who started this laughter movement in the world and in India. And it was his first book where he describes what is laughter yoga, what is laughter therapy, what they do, how they laugh in the parks, etc., etc. So I took the book. I said, this is very, very strange, and it may happen only in India. So I bought this book, and all the rest just started for me. So I started there with the laughter clubs in India, with the local people. They were training me. I was showing up every morning to a different laughter club in different neighborhood in Bangalore and laughing with them. So I understood that there is something there. Oh, I feel much happier now, very temporarily, but I felt it for that 30, 40 minutes that I'm happier than I was before.
Were you
And
unhappy before? Were you unhappy
I
before?
was very, very unhappy, the unhappiest, the most miserable person, but also the one who doesn't enjoy his misery. So because of the traumas.
What does that mean? You don't enjoy your misery?
Well, my teacher Annette Goodheart said that if you're going to be miserable in your life, at least you might learn how to enjoy it. But I was not there and not that. So
So you're
very,
defying your misery.
very,
You were
very
defying
unhappy
it.
as a child, very unhappy family, very unhappy environment. My army time was very, very gloomy as well. I did things which I didn't like, and I didn't have the courage to say, I want to do that, not this. I was very submissive and obedient as a child, and with a lot of sicknesses. So now with this laughter yoga, me in India doing that, volunteering with the HIV patients, for me, I felt great that time. I thought that's the end, but it was not the end. Anyway, I had this journey of 1 year and 2 months in India, volunteering in HIV institutions, then going to Ethiopia. I was accepted by Save the Children to be a nutritionist in the bush, in the field. I got a nice letter, but that I didn't get the job which I was wishing for. So I went back to laughter again.
Come back in the middle of the screen, Alex.
Mother, I used to stay in Mother Teresa Missionaries of Charity doing laughter yoga
Did
with
you
the.
meet Mother Teresa?
No, but I meet the Father Teresa.
Okay.
He's
She
still
was
there.
married. She was married.
Say again.
No.
No.
No,
Continue.
no. But I met him. Because of him, I went to Ethiopia. And in Ethiopia, I also met the world laughter champion, Bella Chugimra, whom I brought to Israel 7 years, 6 years later. So then I came back to Israel because for me to stay in Ethiopia, it was too much. I saw I cannot be a nutritionist. I said, let me do something with laughter therapy. So I came back to Israel and started laughter clubs in Israel together with Dr. Ute Liemand, one German woman who was living in Israel at the time. And we started this idea of laughter clubs, and we brought Madan Kataria. But then, of course, things went deeper, and I started also how to say, to develop my own school, which was much different than laughter yoga. Laughter yoga for me was a gateway, and I started to understand that laughter is not enough for our happiness. I didn't want to admit it many years, but I understood that laughter
Laughter is a gateway, but then
it's a gateway. It's totally not. Laughter cannot make you happy, but laughter is a byproduct of you being contained and happy. It's a byproduct.
Alex, could I also move into to breathing now? Do you think that laughter allows a person, especially someone in chronic pain or surgery or anything like that, intrusion in the body, the laughter gives them that space, that Viktor Frankl space. The laughter expands the time so that they can actually move in. Could you draw on that a little bit more? Because I think that's important for people to realize that laughter isn't just being funny. It's about creating that amazing space in the brain.
It's a very good question. Now, let's go back to laughter yoga, and I want to show what is the basis, what is the foundation for laughter yoga. In laughter yoga, they say that when you fake laughter by body exercise, by movements, also if you're not feeling happy but you fake, you can laugh. You laugh and laugh and laugh, you become happier. The pain is gone because you produce natural painkillers, endorphins. You may produce some serotonin, you feel better, and you become happier. Now, this is the idea behind the fake it till you make it, which my teacher, Dr. Annette Goodheart, wrote in her book in 1988, Laughter Therapy, How to Laugh on Everything in Your Life, which is not really funny. This is what she suggested. But later on, she changed it, and she said that it works only if there is no any anger or cry or something that is hidden. Because if you don't touch those, your fake laughter will be stained for life. Now I want to come to your question.
Like the body, like the unconscious mind knows the truth.
Exactly. Now I want to come to your question. If there is a person, a sick person, which needs to regenerate some natural painkillers, in that morning, if he is not depressed, if he is not traumatized by something, if he is not painful, and his mood is medium and above, then you can do that. You feel better. But if you are depressed and you don't come in touch with your depression and you want to run away to laughter, it will not help you. You will not produce any.
It's maybe a band-aid, if anything.
However, if you voluntarily connect with your sadness, your pain, your misery, and you learn how to maximize it, how to capitalize it, how to draw a caricature around it, so you become the master of the ship, of this vessel, you become the captain, and then you create some kind of distance from the misery, the distance, and you accept yourself also while not being happy, and then you can laugh. Okay, laughter is a byproduct of you being happy. Laughter doesn't lead to real happiness. It's a byproduct. What leads to a real happiness? It's acceptance, it's purposeful living and meaning in life. This will lead to happiness. Of course, high level of serotonin, of dopamine. There are different other techniques how to regenerate them, how to create them. Then when your mood is stabilized, then you can do silly things. You can take your tongue out. You can do faces, whatever you want, but you don't do it out of your own gloominess and depression without you being in touch with your emotions. Now, one definition of happiness will be when a person can move flexibly through all the emotions on the spectrum. What is the meaning of the word emotion according to Dr. Goodheart? E is to exit or to moving out from one emotion to the next emotion. So if you're flexible about moving out through emotions, then you can be happy. And the clown, what about the clown archetype? The clown archetype, everybody we are telling about him, the clown is always sad. I would say the clown is authentic because the clown can be sad and also can laugh, but the clown doesn't ignore his sadness. He knows
That's
how to
right.
play with it. And when you are authentic with your own emotions, then you're happier. That's why the Africans are so happy in West Africa. You go in Mali, in Burkina Faso, you will see happier people. Poorest country, right? But they are authentic with their emotions. They cry, they laugh, they get angry, they don't hide.
So where did we go wrong here in the where did we go wrong in Western society? Where did we go
We
wrong?
suppress. First of all, we suppress. We suppress.
This is John Sarno's work. You're talking John Sarno's work. This is the Sarno method.
We suppress, we hide, we cover, and also we fight. Because what happens with the depression and the post-trauma? Some doctors will take pills. What the pills do? They suppress more, right? So
Yep.
superficially, the all these Cipralex, I don't know the names of all these drugs. They are like laughter, laughter by command or fake laughter.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
but you will carry on the sadness and the depression and the whatever, the mania depression or whatever. If you don't make friendship with the depression and you say, hey, my depression, I love you, you're part of me, let's make friends, it will stay together. But if you have become the master and you exaggerate and maximize and capitalize it, it becomes a friend. And that's Viktor Frankl. This is the paradoxical coaching. This is the paradoxical intention. When somebody came to Frankl and told him, doctor, I'm afraid to speak in front of people, in front of audience, because I'm afraid to stutter. I'm afraid that I'm stuttering. So Frankl told him, go ahead. Tomorrow you go on stage and you imagine you're going to stutter so much and so much. You think you will be the champion of stuttering, the world champion. And he tried that and the stuttering stopped.
Yeah,
Because
you're not frightened of it
he
anymore.
made a
You're not
caricature.
afraid. Yeah.
He does the opposite. In homeopathy medicine, it's based on the same idea. Treat the same with the same. Similia similibus curentur. Instead of taking the antidote, we give some poison to the patient, and the patient takes the poison. It makes the stimulus, makes the disease worse, but then it's healing. We are not fighting. We want to give a full room to the negative.
It's like neuroplasticity. It's like exposing you to the pain, the pain.
Voluntarily. Yeah. You
Wow.
make it bigger than it is. This is about you. This is about the humor, about humor drama. That's the pillar behind humor drama. I take my pain or I take my shame narrative or the guilt narrative. I talk about it, but together with it, I do some caricature about it. When a person comes in my training or one-to-one, he talks about a story associated with shame or guilt. So I give him this glass of water, he gargles. He talks about the story, but all the water is going down. He becomes messy. He starts to laugh. And then the trauma is disappearing. Yes, you set a new...
It just disappeared? The trauma disappeared?
Yeah, it becomes lighter. The
story becomes lighter.
Now you accept yourself that you have this guilt. Okay, I'm not saying guilt is good. It's not good. It's not serving us. But at least you have to come closer to the guilty inside you. You have to come closer to the shameful inside you. You have to closer to the painful inside you. And also to the violent inside you.
This is the wisdom. This is the wisdom of trauma. The wisdom of trauma.
Yeah, maybe Gabor Mate. Yeah, here it comes. In the end, it's the same essence. Do the opposite that normal therapist would do. Do the opposite that normal coach would do. That's the idea of the paradoxical coaching. That just do the opposite. The others, they try to fix the patient. No, let's go on with him and being here. Let's walk into his shoes. I'm going to say I have the same problem that you have. What's the problem? And then we can also stretch the time, my mentor, Dr. Michael Tietze, is a great psychotherapist trained by Viktor Frankl in Vienna in the 70s. Michael Tietze is the founder of Humour Care Germany and Austria. It's an association of medical clowns in mental health. It's not the clowns who make children laugh, not this one, but mental clowns in mental health.
Medical clown.
Medical clowns. Medical clowns in mental whatever. Yeah, whatever. I'm messy. Yeah. So he told he was writing one of his article that a person came to him and told him, listen, I'm going to make a suicide because I'm coming to you. Nothing helped me. You didn't help me. All our therapy didn't help me. My relationship with my colleagues is so bad. With my wife, the relationship is so bad. I finished. I want just to commit suicide. So Michael told him, you know what? In your situation, you are right. After what I've listened from you, you have all rights to do that. But listen, I would like to ask you to come in 1 month. And if you come in 1 month, a bottle of brandy will be here on the table. We will sip, we will cheers, we will toast, and you're free to your way. But now in this month, I want you to do one thing. I want you to call to all the people who offended you, who abused you, who treated you bad, and tell them directly what you think of them. Now you have nothing to lose. You're going to anyway.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, you're amazing.
Tell them exactly what you think of them. Because if you take your life now, everybody will be laughing behind your back, and they will say this guy was I don't know how to say, just gave up his life. But now, you come, you tell them what you think of them, and then come to me. We will toast. I will have a good brandy here, laid on this table, chin chin, and you're free to your way. He accepted him. He gave him 1 hour. He wanted to stretch the time. So you know that what his patient did, he really called to all those people. He told him directly what he thought of them. And they after on the same day he was bound to come to him and say goodbye to life. This patient's wife called to Dr. Michael Tietze and told him, Doc, there is no need anymore in your services. Everything is done. Good. Yesterday we had we just drank together a bottle of wine. We had a good sex. Everything just going well. There is no need anymore in your service. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, that's right. Because people
that's
are
paradox. Yeah. So if when a therapist walks into his client's shoes, he's not above him, he's with him on the same level. That's the pillar for paradoxical therapy, for provocative therapy, that Frank Ferry was a great social worker, therapeutic social
worker. So interesting, because I'm taking this course on neuroplasticity, and they're talking about counterintuitive pain. We think something is wrong, but chronic pain, it's a counterintuitive relationship. Nothing is wrong. Everything is okay. So you have to change the brain in the pathway to be a counterintuitive. You have to change your intuition. So that's a paradox. I think it's all coming together with the same, right? Where it's like nothing new under the sun when we're talking about what I do and what Alex does and what you do.
Yeah. Well, I think, unfortunately, a lot of therapy is about avoiding the pain or clearing the pain or getting rid of the pain. But it's what Alex is talking about is getting in there and seeing what it's about.
There voluntarily. Play with that. Change the perception you have towards it. and accept yourself unconditionally with the shame, with the guilt, with the rejection. You know, I touch in my courses on a thing called non-destructive aggressiveness and creative anger.
Say it again. Creative anger. I'm gonna write this down.
Creative anger and non-destructive aggressiveness, which is affiliated to psychologist Bach.
Creative anger and
non-destructive aggression.
Gavin Lou is the same. Gavin Lou. ICDP is the same.
Not to this aggression, which is not destructive you.
Yep.
Yes, no.
Non-destructive
aggressiveness.
Yes. Is that more like, Rose, when you talk about discharging?
Yeah. No. Discharging means that you're not holding your anger, but non-destructive aggressiveness is talking about the aggression within us and exposing it so it's not hidden anymore.
And we are expressing the violence, the anger, the judgment, whatever, much more, capitalizing and maximizing it. And we use gibberish there.
What is gibberish?
Language with no meaning. We have a scene where there is an interrogator and a suspect, and the interrogator is trying in gibberish to let the suspect to admit that he made the crime. All is done in gibberish. And when the interrogator, I'm telling to the suspect, you are not going to admit so fast. But then the interrogator gets angry, and then he calls an invisible character called Igor. Igor is a Russian thug. He's not there. And when he calls Igor, the suspect is played by being beaten. Like you come closer to the place in you which is a beaten person. With being the punished and beaten voluntarily. So you accept yourself. And then he goes on the interrogator. He tries to let him to sign the paper that you made a crime. And he doesn't want. And then he calls Boris. Boris is a bigger thug, is much stronger, has more muscles. And Boris beats him, invisible, whatever, you know? And so in this installation, we want to give a full room to the aggression inside us, to the violence, through humor, through gibberish. What gibberish does, because gibberish is a language and way of communication with no words.
Wow.
No, you cannot use words from a language, so it's total meaningless. You can also say things which have no meaning, because then you go into your right hemisphere of the brain. And where there is right hemisphere of the brain, there is space, there is meditation, there is freedom. And then your emotions can come naturally exposed, but in a harmless way.
Yeah.
When the problem is where the mental, where the meaningful and the emotion are mixed.
Yes. Could I interrupt now?
Control.
Yeah. And point out to our audience, that gibberish is what little children use to one another. And if you think about it, the left brain isn't online. So we've only got the emotional part of our brain, and then we've got this swirling around in us. Now, I'm thinking that in that gibberish, I don't know because I haven't done it, but listening to Alex, I realized that gibberish could actually be the point where the patient actually had the trauma originally before they could actually verbalize it. And then this gibberish then actually opens up that space in them. Because, you know, we just talked about time before and how breathing gives us time or laughter gives us time, but our time in life is contained. So what happened to us when we were 2 is still affecting us right now when we're 22 or 42 or 62 or 82. It's all the same. It's not involved in time. It's all present in the present moment. So this gibberish, I realized listening to Alex, gives patients an idea of what actually needs to come up from their gut,
So when you
That
say the
child,
language without meaning, Rose, then then why is it helping us if it doesn't have meaning?
it has meaning, but it's gibberish.
The narrative, the story that we have been telling to ourselves since history and believing to the story like one absolute truth, this story which is destroying us, is harmful. This story is not there. Only the emotion is there. So when we express the emotion in its purest way, it's safe and it's cathartic out of us.
The language without meaning can help us get to our emotions.
Yes, that's why we do gibberish. We have playful exercises to couples. I divide the group in many couples, and I say to a couple, now you play gibberish with fear, now gibberish with boredom, now gibberish with anger, now gibberish with rejection, now gibberish with dissatisfaction, etc., etc. And you learn how to express all of your hidden emotions that you never touched. Just play with emotions. Know your emotions. There, yeah. Gibberish allows you to express fully each emotions, but safe. You are not going to lose control because the narrative, the story is not there now.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Could you talk about logos therapy as well?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because this logos therapy, there isn't any language in it. There's gibberish instead. So
nobody knows what is logotherapy. Very few people.
Well, I know people in South Africa have come.
Oh yeah, I know there is a big community because when I gave a lecture in the Logotherapy Congress in Israel 2015, so many participants came from South Africa. I was surprised. Okay, in logotherapy, there are my work mostly linked with Frankel's philosophy called paradoxical intentions, which is part of logotherapy.
I love this.
yes.
I want to define two things and to see how they relate to gibberish. If we talk about logotherapy, the way to meaning and how meaning and purpose in life are related to happiness, according to Frankel. Happiness cannot be pursued. Happiness must ensue. This is what Frankel said.
Happiness must ensue.
So Ensue. I'm not English speaker. Everybody should know. I make mistakes. Yeah.
You're doing okay. You're doing okay.
I'm not. I don't give a shit about being good English speaker because I speak gibberish. That's the most.
Well, thank you for adapting to our show. Thank you for dancing with our English language.
Now let's go for Frankel. If a person wants to find his meaning in life, you cannot find meaning by thinking too much, by going
outside.
or left brain. What is my meaning? What is my meaning? As you think more about it, it goes far from you. The linear way, the conventional way, will be to think of your meaning. Think. They say think, but think is like think. Think. It doesn't work out.
No.
However, sometimes when a person will go out of his country to travel in the Himalayas, disconnected from the internet and connecting with the internet, in this situation, when you think less, meaning can be channeled to you and revealed to you from, I don't know from where. So it's non-linear. It comes to you not by thinking, but by intuition. And then you know what is your unique personal meaning in life. Now, according to Frankel and to other life coaches, the general purpose of people is happiness. If we are happy, wow, this is our general purpose for living. But in order to get into happiness, there is a unique purpose for living that everybody should find. If somebody is bound to be a carpenter, be a carpenter. Otherwise, you won't be happy. Somebody is supposed to be a lecturer like me, be a lecturer. Otherwise, you don't find your happiness. Somebody must be a farmer. or a expert on permaculture, and I don't know nothing about permaculture, but somebody, this is his mission in life, it will make him happy. So through non-linear work, when you go out of your brain, out of thinking, when you go on traveling and you go on a meditation, you go in a monastery, your a unique purpose for living must be revealed to you. Now, if you follow it, you will feel self-contained, happy, full. But
You
if you don't follow it and you do something else and you go on a job where you feel not with you feel your heart is shrunk and squeezed, it will make you very miserable because you're always bound to thinking. I need to work only where there is money so I can pay my bills. This is thinking, left brain. And then it makes you more miserable. So here we see that in order to be happy, you must fulfill and follow your purpose for living, which is a unique purpose for living. And this will be revealed to you by your intuition. Intuition is non-linear. Okay? You see,
in
it's
other words,
paradoxical. It's a paradoxical because when you listen to your heart, you go on a paradox because the non-paradox is listen to your left brain. Second thing is about logodrama or paradoxical coaching. Viktor Frankl, in his technique, was advising people to exaggerate and maximize all the things which they are afraid of that they will happen to them. For example, a person came to Frankl and told him, "I'm afraid to talk in front of people because I am sweating and I'm so shy. I have a big shame that people see that it's wet here and it's wet here. How can I speak?" So Frankel told him, tomorrow or the next day, you go on stage, you just imagine that you're going to spill 5 liters of water from the right arm and 10 liters of water from the left one. Just aim to that, wish for that. And then it solved his problem because he didn't have this fear of anticipation anymore. So you see, it's a paradoxical. It's non-linear because the linear will be take a pill, take pharmaceutics, fight it or cover it. It
wow.
doesn't work out covering. Also with the cancer, I met a research. I met not many. I met a few cancer people who were cured from cancer. And the common denominator to all of them was self-acceptance. They accepted their tumor as part of their body. That's why it's a friend. We don't want to fight our friend.
I
No
love
need.
it.
It's an overgrowth of cells.
Say again.
That's it's an overgrowth of cells in the
Yeah,
body.
I'm
An
going.
overgrowth.
I'm going to grow up 1,000 tumors on my breast. Look at me. So the
Yeah.
cancer stops. That is not proliferate anymore. The person is
Wow.
in
But
peace
yeah,
with yeah.
you've moved away from
Gibberish
what we
helps
were.
you here. Gibberish helps because as you do more different gibberish exercise, you train your improvisational part in the brain, your intuitive part. You're listening to these fears. Fear,
Yeah.
fear and narrative come from the left brain.
Can we go back to the man's search for meaning
Yeah,
again?
yeah,
And we were talking about finding our passion. Now, finding our passion is what's non-linear.
sure.
So would you just
Yeah,
draw on that more? Because, even if you've got to be an accountant and earn your money, you can also be, I don't know, a lover of painting or be an artist on your days off. So your passion can come out of your gut. Can you talk about that? Because in a way, sometimes we've got to earn money.
we
We've got to
must.
pay the bill. We've got to
Yeah.
keep the roof over our heads.
Israel is,
So,
believe me, Israel is the most, Tova is the most expensive country in the world. It is so true what you say.
yeah.
But
So
listen,
talk about passion rather than finding this hidden meaning, because the meaning isn't hidden. It's actually in us and we know it if we take that pause to find out what our passion is. Would you just
you know,
revisit that for the sake of the patients?
to do something what gives you passion and what enlightens you, you must do it, whether it gives you money, whether it doesn't give you money. But if you
Exactly.
go in a job and you do it many years and every day you go to this job, to this workplace, you feel that your heart is shrunk. You don't want to be there, but you do it because you need to, and you must, and you have to. These three, we call it in Hebrew, in Hebrew, maybe you can translate, there is a word called chametz. Chametz is the thing that you cannot eat in the Passover. It's the bread, chametz.
Comments.
And the Rashei, how to say it over Rashei Tevot? This chametz means, I don't know in English, the chametz means in Hebrew, you have to, you need to, you must. In Hebrew, chayav, mukhrach, tzarich. And we don't want to do things that we have to do them because of fear, because of something will happen. So we want to choose freedom of choice. We don't do things that because we have to do them. Because if we have to do them and we do them and we feel shrunk heart, squeezed heart, small
But
heart.
that's about being
The heart
angry,
doesn't
isn't it?
agree. The heart really
And
doesn't want, but I don't listen to my heart. I still do that. Then I can develop any illness. This is disease. This is I can develop that sooner or later. I don't say that everything you do for money to pay your bills must be your I don't know, celestial purpose for living. No, but it is something where you feel, wow, I feel good there. And if you don't feel good, go to other place. Abundance. Dance with your bands. Abundance. Dance.
Chef,
Abundance. Dance with your bands. And
you know,
emergency. People act out of emergency, right? Emergency. But what is this emergency? There is another side. Emerge and see. Yeah? Take a distance, create a gap. Viktor Frankl create a gap and see from above what are the possibilities. This is
That's
laughter.
right.
This is the deepest essence of laughter. Laughter is to take a gap, take a distance from. Yeah, you cannot. Also, when you do physical laughter, I cannot think and laugh together. And you know
That's
why?
right.
And you know why? Because this muscle and this muscle down the eyes is
Yeah.
activated, and you cannot think. You try to think about many things, about problems, and do like that. You cannot think when you distort your face. Okay.
Wow.
So we need to close the mind, and there are different.
Rose, you
Wim
wanted to.
Hof, I sit in the ice. I cannot think about my problem. I do my jogging. I cannot think about my problems. When
That's
when I
right.
read enough, I cannot do. When I do gibberish meditation or gibberish, I cannot. And when I increase my pace, the rhythmus, so there is less chance that thoughts will intrude my left brain, left hemisphere.
Yeah. Amazing, isn't it? Amazing. And he learned this in India, where everyone does meditation.
Say again.
And yet, well, you learned this in India with yoga, laughter,
No,
and
laughter
yet
yoga comes from India. I learned it in India, in Bangalore.
yeah, and yet when people go to India, they go to meditate, like to sit quietly, like the Buddha. Yeah.
With this, I have some doubts because I think, and it's like also what Wim Hof says, the tumor breathing, the breathing of the Tibetans, because Wim Hof developed his breathings based on Tibetan breathing.
Oh, really?
The
Wow.
yoga, the Hatha yoga, which comes from India, is good for the Indians. We need to, in the West, we are more in stress. We need to adjust things from the East towards what we are able to do. And what I appreciate about Wim Hof, that he took that Tibetan tumor breathing and he fitted it, adjusted it to the West, so it will be easier. I don't say we need. I don't. That's why I don't think that yoga, or especially meditations, hardcore meditations like Vipassana, where we sit 10 hours a day, 11 days, and there is like self punishment in a way. It's for everybody.
So I
We
have a
don't
question. Go
understand.
ahead, Rose. Go ahead, Rose.
Yeah.
Eh?
What is
Well,
the
my
program?
question is, like, what if someone has back pain or migraine headaches or chronic pain, and they're on their journey, and they came to you and said, "What can you do to help me help myself with chronic pain or migraines or an autoimmune disease, what would you suggest? How would you encourage
Yeah,
and
I would go first on accepting the pain and playing with this pain through the techniques I know, like humor, drama, and paradoxical coaching, where psychotherapy meets clowning. We will go directly and play and embrace and exaggerate and maximize this pain to make this pain not an enemy anymore, but it's part of us. The second thing, yes, of course, we if we can alleviate it, why not? If we can do breathing exercises, we can go and sit in the ice bath, which will alleviate the pain. Why not? But
Yeah, get a different pain.
yeah, the last thing I will say, you have to hide your pain, because you know what people do in Israel when they have pain, and it's the worst. They take marijuana, and it's the worst thing because you drag it. You drag it. It will stay longer and longer. You don't want to. You don't want to face it, and I want to face it and play with it, and even enjoy it.
let's talk about
Marijuana is a big problem in Israel. It's the biggest problem. This drug,
yeah, but
because
let's talk about Wim Hof, because
yeah,
Wim Hof
please,
is
please.
taking he's helping people, and if it's something we can we can talk about simply, what is he doing? What is the ice baths doing? Causing pain, like Rose said, so the other pain goes away. Is that what you thought, Rose? Is that what the
Yeah.
ice bath is doing?
Well, have you ever had a cold shower?
I'm
Yeah.
sitting. I'm sitting 8 minutes a day in the ice bath twice a week.
Are you
How
in
I
pain, Alex? Are you in
Well,
pain?
good question. Now, what happens is like this. First of all, we do the breathing exercises of Wim Hof, and the breathing exercises. What they do, they will do some manipulation on these trimers, these spaces in the body, and they will become monomers. And usually, when you go into the very cold water, you won't feel cold. You will feel pain. Okay, but after breathing, because you have more oxygen and you have more dopamine and more serotonin, and these pain receptors are changed by their form, you don't feel the pain, or you feel it very little. Now what happens, it's like what happens with the runner paradox. It's you go on your you go at your will to this cold, you sit there, the first 90 or 100 seconds is horrible. It's difficult. It's very difficult to breathe, but now if you don't go to your thinking how much it's stressing the cold, but you shift your awareness to the wisdom of body, only to the touch of the body with water, you can pass through this 100
The
seconds.
sensation, the sensation.
Yes, but you pass so the first 100 seconds or 2 minutes are hard. It's the trauma, it's the emergency. But after 100 seconds, you can sit like that, and you can breathe, and you can stay another 20 minutes because you pass through this critical time.
Yeah.
It's a paradox, because if we think linearly, if we think conventionally, we should feel worse and worse and worse as we are in this coldest water. But the reality is that after you bypass these first 2 minutes, you adjust to. And then it's not cold anymore. You even feel that your body radiates some warm wave to the
Yeah.
water,
It,
and you can
it
stay
refreshes you.
more and more and more. It's the same with the runner paradox. The runners is running after 2 kilometers, it's very difficult. After 3 kilometers, it's difficult. But if he passes the 5 kilometer, he can run forever. He's not tired anymore. It's the same. You see how much we have a paradox in life, because we
It's
walk
like
on.
Tony Robbins walking on hot coals.
It's
Okay.
not the same. It's not the same, because here you really, when you sit in the ice water, you have the whole body work out. You don't need to go to the gym. Cardiovascular system, all the arteries are become
Wow.
big, more oxygen to the brain. Yeah, it's the whole body workout, and you can even intervene into the autonomous nervous system. With this, Wim Hof changed the medical schools, and this
What do you
guy,
think, Rose, about that?
he says that we can intrude the brain, the immune system, the bone marrow. We can voluntarily to generate white blood cells. endocannabinoids, serotonin, dopamine without taking anything externally. So everything is in our body, in our vessel, this is the laboratory. With the breathings, with the cold water, with the cold shower, we
That's
are the pharmacists. And
okay.
it
People,
changed. And
okay,
everything.
Alex. People don't necessarily have a ice cold bath, but they can actually
Cold water.
step into the cold shower, do their breathing beforehand, so that they're what would you call it? Able to go through that few moments, and then, as you say, the water then becomes refreshing in a way because it opens up the circulation. So anyone in chronic pain, it's a very good uh, way of dealing with the pain because you're actually moving into the pain in a different way, and you're in control because the chronic pain is a sort of out of control. But you're actually breathing first, breathing to set yourself up. It's like jumping over a precipice, but you know you can do it, even if it's a deep precipice. And then in that breathing, go into the cold water, cold, and just breathe through it.
Yes,
You'll hold your breath. But
yes.
once you're used to it, you just breathe normally, and it becomes a really calming effect.
Yes. And also Wim Hof says that in the beginning, you just take a hot shower, and then before you dry yourself, take 15 seconds cold. The next day, 20 seconds, and little by little. And I'm talking about 18 degrees water or 16 degrees water, cold enough to have the effect. And then you feel so much you feel happy after. The sky is not the limit anymore after a cold shower.
Well, if you've ever been in the third world, well, you have a cold shower because it's the only thing you've got. So
in India, if I want to have a cold shower, I cannot. It's so warm there.
Oh, okay.
But I'm a person who is very sensitive to the cold. For me, the winters in Israel are horrible. People will argue with me. I like warm climate. But in the cold, I find my stillness, the happiness, the meditation. When I tried Vipassana of Goenka, it didn't work out for me. I had more thoughts. I think too much. That's why I do gibberish. Think and think, yes? Thinking.
You have to do Vipassana on your own instead of in the big hall.
But when I go in the cold shower, I'm sorry, not the ice bath.
You can do gibberish.
I do gibberish inside the ice bath. What do you think? Of course. Usually I sing in gibberish. I sing.
Seems a bit Hindu.
But I learned how to come closer to your pain, how to be friend with your pain, how to meet it. And when you go there voluntarily, and I think that's the essence of this interview, when we go voluntarily to our pain, we want to meet you. Let's meet, let's play. Little by little, it's losing the power upon us. It becomes a friend. And when it's a friend, it's less painful. Okay? But when we fight the pain, it becomes bigger and bigger. Or when we cover it up with different pills or with marijuana, it becomes bigger, but it's hidden. It grows.
Yeah. Alex, Tom has got this lovely thing up here. We fear death because we don't understand the purpose of this life. Now, I haven't prepared you for this, so it may not be what we could talk about. But I'd like to talk about not the understanding of the purpose of life, but a bigger purpose, like the sense of God. Could you do something about that in this conversation?
Because
I think that's our umbrella for me.
Yeah. It took me many years to realize through different spiritual studies that I thought that I realized that actually everything which happens to us, it's not happening to us, it's happening for us. And there is like higher providence, which always wants our benefit and our goodness. Sometimes we are the
best
ones
outcome.
who disturb the providence to lead us to where we're bound to be. And that's where there is a full trust and less anxiety, because I know also when like bad things happen, they happen for us so we can learn the lesson and go higher. The providence is always for us. Sometimes we are the ones who disturb and we fight.
Do you think that that's based on fear? Do you think that we can't accept the 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 things that are going wrong because of the fear of what?
Yeah, it can be because of the fear, because if something doesn't fit in with our Weltanschauung, with our way of living, how we see the world, and there is a surprises of life, we are not prepared to deal with any surprises. We plan it, God laughs upon us, you know?
Yeah.
And then we fight it. We don't agree. It also happening to me sometimes. Yes, but if we agree, we know it's happening for us. And when we are happening, it's happening for us, we stop fighting, then it will lead us to higher.
So it's a relationship. It's
It,
another
Yeah.
relationship.
it
Yeah.
is a relationship.
Yeah.
The
Look,
providence is always taking care of us, but it wants us to learn some lessons that we need to learn
I
to overcome.
think in a way now, can I loop back to Viktor Frankl? Viktor Frankl had just written a paper, and he was to present to the psychiatric convention or whatever it's called when the Anschluss happened, and he had his papers in his hands when the army or whoever came and took him. So he had a plan in his life, and it was all taken from him. So his paper was never published, and he was never able to present that paper. So he's carted off to a concentration camp, and there all his life's expectations are gone, everything. I've got a feeling he lost his whole family as well. I can't remember his story. So, but in that moment of everything going wrong, he actually reached up to that higher power and saw, I don't know how to explain it, but he saw that will to meaning happen within him. And can you just talk a little bit about that? That everything's taken from you, but then you get everything back. The paradox of it all.
Yeah, I remember this quote of, there is one quote of Frengel that you still have the freedom of choice to choose how you react, also if everything is taken from you, something like that. This is
Yeah.
about freedom of choice. Also, when you lose everything, you have this freedom how to react, because if you know, if you can anticipate that there is something which is waiting for you in the future, or there is some mission that you may complete in the future, maybe some lover you are bound to meet, it will give you this vital force to keep on. Also, if your past is gone, you lost everything. It's still with you, actually. You cannot lose it. It's
That's right. It's
maybe
still there. Could
he's talking about that. It's everything which you have done in your achieved. You always carry it, even it looks like that you lost it. But he tells that if there is something in the future which is waiting for you, and you are the only one. You see, unique purpose. You are the only one who can do this job. You are the only one who can write this book. You are the
and
only.
even if it's your death that's going to happen, that's your job as well.
Say
Even if
again.
it's your death. We were talking about dying and not knowing the purpose of life, but maybe our purpose in life could be dying, couldn't it?
And going to the higher consciousness. Anita Murjani is always telling that to going to the other realms, it's not a problem. Why we too much dramatize
Yeah,
it?
that's fear. Tova, could you?
She has been there. She came back. She knows.
Yeah, could you just write this little saying down for everyone? Iron, 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 iron. Sorry, my accent. Iron bars do not a prison make.
Do not
A prison make.
make. So wait, say it again. Iron bars do not a prison make.
Yes.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what Alex is talking about in that search for meaning. even within the iron bars, you can have actually be non-sensory. This is what regimes do to people. They put them in solitary confinement. But if they have got that attitude about themselves, they won't be broken. So
Wow.
I don't know if you can.
If we understand that our existence is not conditioned to the external things happening to us, and our existence is always there.
Yeah.
So we don't care about what's happening.
So how do we translate? Yeah. So how do we translate this lovely conversation for an in-depth feeling of purposefulness when people have got chronic pain? They're in a wheelchair. That purposefulness. Do we accept the wheelchair? What do we do? They're on crutches, and they've got the chronic ankle pain or something, and they're always on crutches.
A wheelchair, it's something else, because for many people, when it's a wheelchair, it's for life. But yeah, it can be. And if it was me, I would try to look for non-conventional solutions to go out from this wheelchair. But first, you have to accept it. I heard of people that were on the wheelchair.
Yeah.
And because they didn't listen to what the doctors told them, that it's for life, they say, okay, he can tell me what he wants, but I don't accept it. I think for me, I can try to stand. And they try different techniques. They went to this B-venom therapy, B-venom therapy. Yeah. And they sat.
B-venom to get rid of the inflammation. Epitherapy.
Yes. Yeah. And the bees were stinking them all over the body and in the spine. And then they could walk. They went from the wheelchair.
Right.
Okay. So I don't say you have to, first of all, acceptance of the situation as it's now, that's good. We don't want to fight.
And responsibility that you brought yourself here, and you can bring yourself out.
And you can bring yourself out. In my trainings, I always write on this whiteboard the word impossible. Impossible. And I say, you decide whether it's impossible or I am possible. Which
can you write that down in the comments?
Impossible is I am possible.
Yeah. Can you?
And because we think about things impossible, it's really limits us. It makes us boundaries. Yeah.
Write it down for the audience.
And it's a real essence of laughter. Laughter is not only do laughter exercise and ho ho he he ha ha he he hoo hoo, but it's to take this, to go beyond this space, to go go beyond.
Impossible is a label, is a thought. It's not true.
Yeah. Go beyond the thinking. Go beyond, emerge and see. Then you can laugh. It's you laugh because you go beyond the
paradigm. I'm going to be devil's advocate. No, you can't. I can't laugh. I'm in pain, Alex. I'm in pain. It hurts. It's not.
I'm talking about metaphorical laughter, not physical laughter, but what you change in your belief system, the sistema di credenza. What you change here, if you move from impossible to I am possible. The sky is not the limit. If Wim Hof could sit 63 minutes in this ice bath, and he was running 40 kilometers in the Kalahari Desert with no drinking, so maybe I can learn from one case of success that it's possible also for me if I wish to break this old paradigm of perception, the perception, the paradigm, the thought that we have been learning from our teachers, from our schools, from our parents, from government. If this we take and we throw it to the garbage and we set a new belief system.
That's I am possible.
Yeah, this is laughter. This is for me laughter. Not ho ho ha ha he he he. This is okay. This is okay. This is the beginning. But the real essence of laughter is to take the old belief system, to see what is not serving us anymore. Say thank you, honestly, humbly. You served me so far. I believed in this belief system. Now let's adopt a new one. Let's do the opposite one.
Yeah.
Impossible, everything is possible. Let's try. If it's not working out, let's move on. But we give a try to a new belief system. As paradoxical as it can be, why not? In the worst case, we are going to succeed. Come on.
Wow.
In the worst case.
Alex, I'm so happy Alex and I have been trying to connect for a long time, off and on. And I'm so happy you came on the show, and I'm gonna have you on the Hebrew show in November, December, when we go back live. But what an amazing gateway to be with Rose and I. And Rose and I will never be the same. I don't think Rose and I will ever be the same after this show. Yeah. This show has been a turning point, has been a pivot, a pivotal turning point into what we're doing. And we know we're in the right place. And Rose has quite amazing experiences in her work, being a midwife and a doula, and being in a surgery room with sick people. And I'm meeting people. Wow. I'm inspired, and I have more and more hope to be, a better health practitioner to my clients and to my own personal life and my own personal falling and getting up and falling and hitting my nose and falling and getting a bloody nose and getting up. And I know, Rose will have her own.
Keep going. We just need to keep going, whatever it is.
Yeah. To follow our heart, the intuition, to go always with the intuition, because the intuition doesn't lie at all.
Wow.
It's always about truth.
We're on a pilgrimage, aren't we?
Yeah. If the intuition goes, you quit from this job, quit with the job, but do it proudly, courageously, and something you will find something better.
Wow.
Because always the confidence is for us, is working always for us. We have to remember it every day.
Yeah, because you're right. This is
paradoxical. It's paralogical, yeah.
Right.
Because the linear is to be in fear, to be submissive, obedient. Doctor, you cure me. You're the only one to cure me. Doctor, what's wrong with my body? That's the linear. Do the opposite. I can cure myself. Why not?
Wow.
Exactly.
Doctor resides within, isn't it?
That's right. Yes.
Amazing. We can invite Alex on in a few months. We'll invite him on to meet Michael Galinsky. Have you seen All the Rage, the movie about Dr. John Sarno? Did I send you the movie All the Rage?
Send me.
I will send you the link. It's a wonderful movie about Dr. Sarno, how Rose and I met. And really, I'm sure you'd have something wonderful to say about it. So we will meet again.
Please, let's do
either virtually or in person. And really, Rose,
I just want to say that next year I probably will have some master classes in Europe, in Italy, in Switzerland, in Denmark. If somebody's interested.
In English? In English?
In English. In some countries with translation, but
You're speaking beautifully. You're speaking beautifully, and maybe you want to connect to Australia. And
I wish. So far, I tried with Merv Neil, the guy of laughter yoga in Australia. It was quite hard with him. I tried, but I already came to Canada. I gave a training in Montreal.
Wow.
So it was far. I traveled. I met Gabor Mate. I went to the Congress with Gabor at McGill University. I gave my 15 minutes lecture about my work.
You did?
Yeah. At McGill University, in Montreal.
Wow. Amazing. It's really beautiful.
3 years ago.
I'm really happy. I'm very happy we met.
Alex, did you give them an example?
They gave me only 15 minutes presentation. I had to squeeze.
Sure, but give us an example now before we go.
Example of what?
Gibberish, laughter.
Okay, let's do some gibberish. Okay,
right. So you've got to train us so that we know what to do.
Yeah. There are many people who are we were talking a lot about fear here, anxiety. So there are many people that have anxiety over gibberish. So because they are so anxious and fearful to see themselves speaking in a silly language with no meaning, so they always mumbles with the same word. So their gibberish doesn't sound like gibberish. It's always like like that, like childish gibberish. And what I want usually to do is to teach people how to speak gibberish very slowly. Each word is
properly.
different in this
Properly.
manner that if you speak it in the street, other people will try to guess which language you speak from for one of the languages. They never guess. They will suggest German, Finnish, Swedish, Danish, French, but they never will say gibberish because your gibberish is very authentic. Now, if you learn how to do it slowly, how to act out of slowness, how and to enjoy in being slow and not hurrying up to get things done, then your gibberish will be authentic. So I'm going to ask you a question, and you answer me. Tova, en xeferek sensis naxe vorifine praxirx, jede fraxe vet is taxe vor hite verkrot vet gefidox de coronavirus in dix nasefek, sasefek sat oche, falkinst.
Animiskamima.
She cannot answer in gibberish. You see, it was
I
hard.
said I agree.
No, you have to answer in gibberish.
I'm feeling anxious, so
You see,
baka wag sig talk like not what's this physical I don't I'm kind of I what does that do?
Rose, dit is tekstefike tova da verkrofte hit is nog suffice.
Oh, yeah, oh, cool. Oh, yeah, aha.
This one, it's typical for you, yeah. But now so because people have this manner, so I say, okay, in the beginning I will say a word, you do follow the leader. Okay, that will be
good.
Okay, right. Let's repeat after me. Brookspra.
Brookspra.
Prukesprik.
Prukesprik.
Shagur Brexo.
Shagur Brexo.
Brexo.
Zbrakim Frint.
Zbrakim Frint.
Brachonsmext.
Brachonsprecht.
Sounds
like
next
to me.
Zdakog next.
Dakog next.
Brixfra.
Brixfra.
And now we try to speak again. Alte fruk sempre for de vroegste pette. Peter. Pari verder kan met de worste. Praten van ons, burkant. Doe vrije van insta fraxe voor het stiki international airport in de psyche voor Australia. Ja, de fructifica la medicina ta kan prexe fare fenso. You see, I do it very seriously. It means that I give full room to my seriousness. I don't try to cover up, to run away to laughter. I want to meet my seriousness courageously, at will, but in the end I mix it with gibberish. It becomes comic.
Wow.
It sounded like a blessing, didn't it, Tova?
Das ist speaking in tongues in the Staxevera for Steak. So, yeah, frequency Absurdistan is calling.
We will meet again. I'm a little uncomfortable, I'm a little triggered, but I'm liking it. It's a good trigger.
Yeah. May the farce be with us. Amen.
Yeah.
Baruch Hashem.
Baruch Hashem. Amen.
Thank you so much for blessing our studio.
Thank you so much. Yalla.
Have a wonderful day.
Enjoy with joy. Bye.
Thank you to the audience.
Bye. Enjoy.
Bye, everyone.